Hi guys, got Ruby here, and we have officially started working on the beginning of leash work. So first things first, we're testing out the few harnesses that you guys do have, and your smallest size pink one, this one right here, is exactly how snug all equipment needs to be on her, including the collar. You are looking for only 2 fingers should be able to slip underneath equipment. If it's any more than that, you know that she can wiggle out of it. So you're really looking for something that's nice and secure. You can trust that she can't get out of it. And this one in particular is very snug. And although I'm not the biggest fan of Velcro, it is the most fitted one that you own right now. So continue to use this. Okay, so first things first, one thing to know about Ruby is that she's very flighty. All she does is move. She's constantly jumping up on things and is very frantic, especially when she sees her equipment. So you already mentioned before, you want to slow things down and kind of create some type of system. And the system that we were leaning towards was potentially having her sit on the chair near your door and her remain calm as she's being putting on her equipment. But the purpose of today's exercise is actually show you the beginning of how leash work starts. The first thing that needs to happen is that leash practicing, actually all this stuff needs to start inside. Leash work is really difficult, and starting outside is just setting them up for failure. Way too many distractions, and Ruby in particular is very overstimulated by the outside. She's not really sure how she feels about it. She's continually looking around. She seems a little bit stressed. So we want to make sure that she understands exactly what she's supposed to be doing on the leash before we try to take the training outside, because she's just going to be really confused and probably not a really good experience for her. So the first thing that needs to happen is she needs to understand the length of her leash. And this is really, really important, and why we do not use retractable leashes, because they are very unreliable in length. You know, they can go from 4 feet to 20 feet, back to 4 feet, back to 7. And that's not really good for training, because that just teaches the dog that they can be as flighty as they want, and it's also very dangerous. So this one approximately, I said, this is a 5-foot leash. This is a great length for her, and I just want her to understand that pulling gets her nowhere. Pulling, by the end of this leash, getting to the end of this leash, does not make me move forward. In fact, the complete opposite happens. I stand still. If I feel any tension on this leash, it is because she did it. I stop, I become a tree. We need to start teaching her that pulling gets her nowhere. And the other thing that she tends to do is when she pulls, she hunkers down and just lays down. This is just kind of her freaking out with the tension of the leash. She's still learning everything. So we want to make sure that we're not the ones providing tension on this leash. We're not physically manipulating her with the leash. We're, actively engaging her and asking her to move. So right now she's pulling at the end of this leash. Good girl. But when she comes back to me, she's going to get rewarded. So this exercise is called pressure and return. She's going to provide a little pressure on her own. Again, I am not going to move. She's just going to keep doing what she's doing, and what she's doing is teaching herself, good girl, that pulling gets her nowhere, which is very, very important. You want her to understand that the correct distance away from you, and the correct distance on walks is 5 feet, and that is it. So definitely make sure that you continue to buy the same length leashes, and if you feel like this one's just a little too short and you want to try something different, make sure that if you do go for a longer leash that you acclimate her the same way. We're actually going to start moving around just a little bit, again, with this exercise of pressure and return. If there is any pressure on this leash, I'm just going to stop. When she returns, she's going to get rewarded, and we will continue moving. That's really important. When there is no tension on the leash, that is what is going to make me go forward, backwards, in any direction, but not pulling. Pulling is going to get me nowhere. Good. So we're moving. This is fine. I'm just kind of moving around. Good. I love that she just checked in with me. Well, check-ins are wonderful, which is why we start with eye contact. We want to make sure that they are engaged with you. If she is so nervous about the outside world, she should be continuously asking you with attention, hey mom, what next? Good girl. So this is what we're looking for. She feels a little tension on her back. She instantly is coming back and giving me her attention. When I start to move, I'm going to say, let's go, or some type of verbal cue that prompts her to move. I say this because sometimes dogs get distracted on walks and you just start moving and they have no idea that you're going. So I want to make sure that she knows that when you say this cue, it means, all right, we're moving now. Okay, you good girl. You good girl. So she's laying down now because she was very tired. We did take some of this outside. Good job. Good job. And that was able to assess her behavior out there. But your practicing is going to be doing this exercise indoors and just seeing how it goes. Go back and forth. See if she can understand the length of her leash. Okay. Yes. Good girl. Good job. Good. Good. So again, I prompt her. I say, let's go to start moving. Good girl. Let's go. Yes. Good. Now, one thing to know when you're doing this exercise indoors is that there is going to be a direction she's more likely to pull, which is probably towards the front door, not the back. So if you know that chances are she's going to pull towards the front door, make sure that you do not go forward as she's pulling. Very, very important. Let's go. Yes. Good girl. Good job. Good job. I love that eye contact. That is wonderful. And as you can see, because of that eye contact, you can start seeing the beginnings of heel. Heel can be quite a process, but we find that when you focus on eye contact and check-ins instead of trying to orient them next to you, chances are you're going to get heel a lot faster because this is a dog that's already conditioned to look at you and get rewarded for it. Come on, Ruby. Let's go. Good job. Good girl. So again, I'm clicking, she's giving me her eye contact. She's also doing several steps walking next to me, and I'm going to go forward again. Good job. Good, and she continues to walk next to me. That is what's getting her rewarded, not the pulling. So again, your exercise is going to be pressure and return, getting her used to wearing the leash more often, and very important, she has a tendency to jump on the surfaces when you're closer to the front door. I'm telling her off to get off of them. Try as much as possible to not allow her to do that. She tends to switch herself into this frantic mode when she's moving around too much, when leash walking is actually pretty simple. You just gotta walk. We don't need you to do all that extra. So try to get her to simplify the tasks and work on this, especially that pulling, and continue to work with this harness and try to find other harnesses that are similar to this that have the same, it's just as snug. But yeah, that's all for today. She did fantastic. Very excited to start working on this and to start working with her outside. You guys, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll see you later.